Have you ever felt like you're doing all the Enneagram things? You've read the books, you've taken the tests, listened to the podcast, and yet somehow you still feel stuck. You're not alone. I see this all the time in my practice. Someone learns their Enneagram type, and at first it feels like freedom. Now I know why I do what I do. And they get to know their type. They memorize the traits. But then 6 months later, they still end up asking, why am I not changing? Why do I keep hitting the same walls and the same triggers and burnout cycles and the same relationship patterns? It's not because the Enneagram doesn't work. It's because they thought knowing their type was the whole journey. But typing yourself is like dropping a pin on a GPS, but never starting the car. Knowing where you are, that matters, but it's only the first step. And that's what we're unpacking today. What happens after you find out your type? There's actually a much bigger framework behind Enneagram Energetics. There's 3 distinct stages of growth that help you move beyond the labels and start working with the flow of your energy. So by the end of this episode, you'll understand why just knowing your type isn't enough, what your next step ought to look like, and how this framework can help you step into the version of yourself that you know you were meant to be. I'm Jen P. Higgins, and this is Enneagramology, where we explore the deeper purpose of the Enneagram, not as a personality label, but as a map of energy flow that helps you process, heal, and step into your purpose. So in Enneagram Energetics, I teach that there are 3 distinct modes that we all move through: typing mode, growing mode, and power mode. Now, these aren't rigid stages that you graduate from. They're more like 3 different lenses that you use depending on what your energy needs in the moment. And the key is learning how to shift between them intentionally and fluidly. Typing mode is where most people begin. It's all about discovering your core type energy, those patterns that are driven by your unconscious motivations more than anything else. But here's the problem. Typing mode is where a lot of people get stuck. They take a test, pick a type, and think, oh yeah, that's totally me. And yeah, it can be validating, but it can also be entrapment because your ego loves certainty, loves labels and these neat little categories. And that's not evil, it's survival. But the Enneagram was never designed to box you in. It was designed to wake you up and show you the box that you're already in. And when you confuse personality labels with your deeper energetic patterns, you limit your growth. Growing mode is where things start to shift. This is where you learn to move beyond the box of your home-based energy and rise above your personality by exploring and embodying and integrating all 9 energies. Think of it like learning to play chords on the piano instead of sticking to just one note. That's typing mode. That's your note, the melody. But in growing mode, you start adding other notes around it. You begin practicing harmony and blending different sound frequencies at the same time. And at first, maybe it's clunky. You'll hit tension, you'll feel resistance, but with practice, you start to hear how the notes complement each other, creating something that's more dynamic and more expressive and ultimately more balanced. You begin to realize that your home-based energy wasn't meant to stay isolated. It's meant to harmonize with the other 8 energies. So maturity happens in this mode. Yes, there are highs and lows, there's smooth roads, there's rough patches, but they each play a part in your life's song. It's in growing mode where you begin to recognize the patterns that are holding you back, but from a more holistic view. And you begin experimenting with new ways of responding instead of looping through the same habits, the same patterns, the same cycles. And then there's power mode. This is where the magic happens. So if growing mode is like learning to play chords, power mode is like playing the whole piano, all 88 keys. And when you harmonize all 9 energies, you become like a well-tuned instrument. Your body, heart, and mind, they're not pulling you in 9 different directions anymore. Now they're working together, all aligned, integrated, and focused. It's in this mode where you begin to navigate challenges with ease, becoming more resilient and adapting fluidly to any kind of changes in your circumstances. And also, it's what brings more confidence and clarity to what your purpose is to life. This is actualization. You're no longer managing your energy or experimenting with integration. You are the integration. You've become the instrument. And because of that, you can show up as your most authentic self, most powerful self, most present self, not just for you, but for the people you serve in your life. Now, don't get me wrong. Knowing your core type in typing mode is really important because it's helpful to know what are the unconscious motivations and those default knee-jerk reactions of my core type. Because then growing mode won't feel so overwhelming. And trust me, growing mode can be overwhelming. But here's the thing, you can't skip growing mode and jump straight into power mode, which is what a lot of people want to do. That's like trying to play in a symphony before you've even learned your scales. So that brings us to the most important part. Finding your type, your core type, isn't the end goal. It's the beginning. Because once you know where your energy naturally flows, you can start uncovering your core type patterns, the hidden rhythms, the blind spots, and unconscious drivers that keep you looping when you're stuck in typing mode, even when you're ready to grow. And that's what we're diving into in the next episode. Now, if this episode resonated with you, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you want to start exploring your home-based energy right now, check out my mini course, Introduction to the Enneagram of Personality. That's where I walk you through the 9 energies and the 9 motivations that are behind them. And as always, keep unboxing yourself so you can unleash your power.